Okay, so now you have kind of a general idea of what it does during the day in terms of handling phone calls that a human being can't pick up on. I'm going to go through this demo. Now, this is just set up a certain way to illustrate various things that we can do. 99.9% of this can be changed or customized to say or do anything that you want it to do. So just keep that in the back of your mind when I'm going through this. We're going to look at different aspects of CallMyDoc and how it works, but at the end of the day, we could set it up and customize it to say or do anything you want it to do. So let me call that number. As we talked before, the way we work is that we give you different CallMyDoc numbers that handle things in different ways according to how you want to run your business. So I'm going to call that number directly, 310-861-3922, so I can show you different things that I can do.
One for English. Nepali ko lagi tweak
So we support 45 different languages.
Please choose one of the following. You have reached the Cena Health Test Office. We cannot take your call right now, but your call is important to us. If this is a medical emergency, please call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room. Otherwise, please listen to the following options. If you would like to be a new patient of our practice, or would like to leave us a general message, press 1. For established patients or calling on behalf of an established patient, press 2. Please enter the patient's date of birth by using your keypad to enter 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and 4 digits for the year of the patient's date of birth. You have entered September 18th, 1963. If this is the correct date of birth, press 1. If not, please wait while we look up the medical chart for the patient. If you are calling about a routine matter, such as a prescription refill, referral, or have some other non-urgent request, press 1. If you have a question about your schedule or to request or cancel an appointment or get directions to your next appointment, press 2. If you would like to leave an urgent message for your provider, press 3. So
I'm going to press 3 here, and then I'll explain more what's happening behind the scenes.
We need to call you back. Would you like us to return your call to 310-402-5573? If this is correct, please say the patient's first and last name. You will be asked for more information.
Earl Silva.
Now, please leave a detailed message with as much information as possible as to why you are calling, any symptoms you are experiencing, and any other information that would help us expedite this call. Once you are done with your message, please hang up and the office will return your call as soon as possible.
Okay, so at this point, it's listening to me. And what it's going to do is transcribe everything I'm saying directly into a patient case or task.
This office will review your message and contact you at 310-402-5573. Have a great day.
There it is. Okay, so we set you up with as many CallMyDoc numbers as you want or need. Every phone number can be programmed to do something different. Let me show you what's behind the scenes here in this one. So the first thing it said is, as we talked before, pick a language. So not only do we support all these different languages, but we also support many different language personalities and accents and this and that. So you could literally customize this whole thing to the nth degree. If I go down under here, so the first thing is ask me for my date of birth. I put in my date of birth, and what would happen is if there's more than one chart with the same date of birth, we prompt for the first 3 letters of the patient's last name, but we're going to resolve it to one chart. So it's always going to find the right chart, because at this point we've done 24 million patient calls and we currently handle 400,000 patient calls a month. Once we figure out who the patient is in this demo, there's 3 things it can do. Now the first thing is I have a non-urgent question. So you can have either a phone number or multiple phone numbers or whatever helps you to run your business more efficiently that categorizes the question into one of these 12 categories. Because when you're calling a doctor's office, you're not calling for a pizza. It's not like an infinite number of questions you have. You have certain questions that always fall into certain types of categories. or it could be other. But at the end of the day, the idea is that the question goes right from the patient's mouth directly into the inbox of the person that could work on it. Now, the second thing is under this section, we could do several things. First of all, we can cancel an appointment. All the numbers are connected to the charts. And appointment cancellation behaves like a person. So, in other words, if you have a cancellation policy that's 24 hours, but I try to cancel a half hour ahead of time, it'll say, I'm sorry, we can't do that right now. Call the office back directly. The second thing is that, again, because we're connected to the charts, if they forgot when their next appointment is, we could text or email it back to them. Not only do we send a text or an email with all their appointment information in it, but we also send hot links they can click on in Google Maps or Apple Maps. When they click on it, give them step-by-step directions how to get to their appointment. When it comes for people either to request an appointment or other types of scheduling requests, there's two methods. One method is they can request an appointment, we'll transcribe it, push it right into the right inbox of the person that can work on it. However, there's another method whereby we can actually schedule patients over the phone by using your patient portal system in 30 to 45 seconds. Now, most people do not allow patient self-scheduling, but it's an extra free feature that we do have in our system that anybody can use who'd like to try it out. Then the last question is, I need to leave a message for my doctor, which is what I chose. Now, because this has to act like a person, look up the usual provider on my chart. I could look up the last healthcare provider that I saw. We could use the usual provider, but we wanted to route the task to a different department. So anything you could imagine in any combination allows this to act like a person to make sure the message gets from the patient to the right doctor or the right medical assistant, etc. So right now, this is in a patient case. And we also keep extreme detail on every single thing that's going on here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to log into Athena Health for a minute. I'm going to see exactly what it looks like on the Athena side. So you don't necessarily have to touch this dashboard at all. Everything's going into patient cases. And so when you talk about, how do you train the staff on how the system works? Well, the two criteria. One, do they know what a patient case is? Two, can they read? Other than that, you're done. This is more for people that want to find out information, statistics about what's going on, or additional information in extreme detail. So if I take that patient case ID and I go back to Athena under patients document search, this will bring us right to it. Okie dokie. So, as I mentioned before, we can categorize the questions into one of these 12 different categories. We always take the caller's callback number down for multiple reasons. One of the reasons is because patients that you've been seeing for a while, they'll go out, change their phone number, get a new cell phone, move, who knows what. They never tell the front desk when they check in or check out. So over time, the phone number they're calling from may or may not have anything to do with their chart. Plus, the other thing is maybe their cell phone died or whatever. So we always have to take the callback number down no matter what. Now, this just tells you which dashboard it came from on our side. So in other words, since you could have multiple different dashboards, this could have said referral request dashboard, this could have said Torrance Memorial Emergency Room, etc., etc. If you do have to go back over here and check something because of the extreme detail that's kept here, you could do that. This is a unique identifier for every call we've ever done. So if you give us that CMD ID number, we could trace it on our side in extreme detail to know what occurred no matter what. Now, this is what our transcriptions look like all the time. And obviously it even got my slang. If I'd have called in Spanish or some other language, it would have transcribed it back into English before it pushed it over here. So what I could do is call the patient, take care of it, and close it out. That's going to synchronize with this dashboard. It actually worked these from either side. It takes 30 to 45 seconds for that, closing that patient case, to do this, because you can either do it from here to close the patient case. When you close the patient case, it's the same thing as if I clicked on that, but either one of those events mean, okay, we're completely finished, take all notes, additional materials, additional information, put it back on the patient's chart under phone message. And what you wind up with is a little summary at the top and extreme detail below that about exactly what happened. And you can't yet attach a voicemail to a patient chart. But when you click on View Original Image, these blue lines are hot links to the original recordings. So you have extreme detail on anything that ever happened. So if 2 years from now a patient said, I never said that, I never did that, well, it's going to be all written down. So what you wind up with is something like this. Which is a dashboard that shows you information on everything a human being couldn't get to. Now, again, when you think about training, first of all, these are pretty obvious, right? And these are all inpatient cases, so you don't necessarily have to touch any of these because they're all going to be over here anyway. People, as long as they work them, they'll automatically update this dashboard. But the point is that this gives you an idea of everything that's happening. So this is a practice we have in Alabama with 14, 15 different locations. So this is what's happening across all locations for anybody that couldn't pick up a phone call, and it rolled to our system. And instead of sitting in a voicemail, it's automatically transcribed and pushed over to the patient charts. So it's very easy to track it. The other thing we do is we keep statistics and metrics and information on everything that's going on here. So this is days of the week when they get most of their calls. You could see here what's happening. That this is actually the ages of people that are calling into the system and are entering in a date of birth, either the patient or somebody calling on behalf of the patient. Right now, we're handling about 4,400 calls a month for them. Kind of, it goes up and down. This is kind of interesting though. You see this one here, Woodstock, existing or new patient. That's huge. Like it's almost like every single call is going to CallMyDoc. So this gives you an idea of what's happening at the different locations. This here is also really cool. All right, this is measured from the time that we transcribe a message to when it's closed over here. So this tells you how quickly, for things, again, that CallMyDoc caught, that people are keeping up with that and taking care of it. So they're averaging 30 minutes to 2 hour turnaround time on any call that comes in through CallMyDoc for something that's non-urgent, for urgent. And again, this could be for a variety of different reasons. Same kind of thing, tracking 30 minutes to 2 hours. I know this down here is a bit of an eye chart, but basically these are all the different CallMyDoc numbers by call volume. Okay, so like I said, I think Woodstock, there's something going on there.